Before we continue to other concept for today class, the first day of class mostly conceptual, understand the concept in project and project management, etc. I want you to stop and think about real project, and that is the problem one, also conceptual for the only problem we have for today, and it's purely conceptual. So for years one, uh, the case study, the actual project we are investigate is the Alaskan Way Viaduct Replacement Program located in Seattle, Washington State. And why I choose this project? Because they have a very detailed timeline that I can get it from their website. They start in 2001, and when an earthquake damaged this viaduct, and that basically initiate this project. And as you relate to what we learned in the life cycle project, it starts with the market demand and perceived needs. In this case, the perceived need is we need to replace this project because it's vulnerable to the earthquake. And then when you see the need, we need to start the second phase of the life cycle, which is the conceptual planning, feasibility study, and as you can see here, conceptual engineering for replacement, environmental review, alternative, environmental impact assessment statement. So we want to see all other dimensions, funding, engineering point of view, all of that for this project. And I got this timeline a few years ago, and at that time they expected to finish this project in 2016. In a face-to-face class, I would ask you to stop here, go over this timeline, and map your own. What are the phases and when it occurred from 2001, which is roughly 20 years ago, until 2016. But now, this year virtual, I also suggest you to stop this video, go through it, make your own timeline to learn about yourself. Okay, this is like 20 years program, project. What are the phases? How the phases located throughout the timeline of that project. It's in the matter of time. I just go directly to the project site of this project. This is your location in Seattle. Hopefully, someday we will be there. Some of you may have been here. So this is the history, and you can see the old viaduct built in 1950s, and then they have an earthquake, and consider the aging and vulnerability to the earthquake. They need to replace it. That is the perceived need there. So when that, what are the major elements of this program? They have it on in here: 2-mile long tunnel, mile long stretch, new overpass, demolition of the existing viaducts, and then of course resurface on the street in that Alaskan Way. So in terms of the program schedule, I show you in the worksheet problem 1 for today, and that is a few years ago back that I got that timeline from this website, and that expected to complete in 2016. Now, at their update, February 2020, which is just prior to the COVID-19, and you can see the program of construction schedule still ongoing. So it means this project appear to be delayed, and that go back to the objective of the project management that we are talking about: time, cost, and budget. So 16, and now as you can see, it have something extended until 2023, so it means another 7 years there. In terms of the budget, it's a significant project that you can see here for different components, so it can add up to $3.3 billion. So if you're interested, the website here, you can go back to see all of that project information. So with that, we can go back to the project here, and like I say, with the life cycle with different phase, and you can make your own phases and compare to the slide that I prepare in here to show the different phases of this project. So and from the original schedule that I got it and put it on the worksheet number 1, when you see the market demand and perceived need when the earthquake hit this Alaskan Way Viaduct, and that in 2001 and 2. And then they start conceptual planning and feasibility study, and it take like about a decade to do that. Find out the environmental impact, find out the funding, etc. for a decade. Of course, during that process, when you read in the timeline, they may have some engineering work, prepare, etc., construction work, but mostly during this time frame, in that timeline, it's more with the conceptual planning and feasibility study to replace the new viaduct. And then we do the design engineering, detail design engineering. Again, it happened sometime earlier and sometime later, but the major part, if you read from the timeline that they given, is something somewhere in 2010, 2011. And then the construction, the main construction for the new viaduct, is procurement construction, it's 11 until 16 to be complete. But yes, it based on the time frame that they available a few years ago, but now, as I just showed you in the website, it actually extended until 2023. The bottom line here is not about the how exact that I map for this project, but I do want to emphasize that, as you can see, the first few phases, it can take decades to do the project. So something like design construction may be shorter than the previous one, conceptual planning and feasibility study. And you also see that to complete the project, we have to go through different phases in here. So again, you can make your own timeline and the life cycle phases, but the bottom line, as you can see, it no absolute solution for this, but you can see the overall picture, what are the phases look like, how that can be mapped throughout the life cycle of project, and go back to the influence of different phases that you can see the importance of understanding the life cycle of the project.